Greetings everyone, and welcome to Game 2 of the Coop vs. Soup series in Round 2. I am Doctor. I will be casting this game for you. This is in Round 2 of the OBTL, and the map here is Metalopolis. Soup is spawning in the rightmost base. Cooper is spawning in the leftmost base. I realized that in the last game I casted, the sound got really choppy for the voice, and I apologize for that, but it's the microphone's fault. The actual physical connections in the microphone, in the microphone were really shoddy. They're really bad. I mean, I think I've talked about this before, but yeah, it gets pretty messed up. Okie dokie, let's get into this game here. Looks like Soup is going to scout the bottom left base, and then to the cross position, and then to the topmost base. So he's gonna realize very quickly where Cooper is. I think he sent that scout even before he got to 9, which is pretty early scouting. So, and which means that you'll know where he is earlier, but at the same time he's not going to have a whole lot. So, there's two heads to the coin on that into that regard. Okay, I know you can't see the progress bar for the replay, but this is a long game, so there will be times where I'll speed this up to try to cut back and keep this into 2 videos. So, I mean, that shouldn't be too much trouble, right? Cooper is throwing down a spawning pool before anything, so looks like he's not going to go for a fast expand. There he actually goes for the real extractor. Do 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 do. Kudos to anybody who can actually tell me which game that's from. If anybody can tell me that, you're the man. Okay, so Soup is throwing down his wall here and electing to get a marine. Last game we saw a Gosu wall where Soup was able to build a wall that would protect all of his infantry from the roach attack that Cooper made, and big props to him. Let's see if he pulls that out again. Cooper grabbing his gas so he could see roaches, speedlings, or banelings or something of that regard, or even an early layer. I'm not sure. I'm not a Zerg player, so how would I know what he's gonna do? Oh no, lag. Okay, I think we're good. Soup is just me, or does Soup have not many SCVs for this point in the game? 13 to 16. Yeah, it does seem a little light. He has them queued back, so I can't explain it. Alright. Cooper has his queen out, and looks like he is going for a relatively early expansion. So it's an expansion after a pool, which is more like an Hydra build. So I don't even know if Cooper knows who Hydra is, but you're doing his build, buddy. Or something along those lines. Okay, so Soup is going to go for a factory, earlier factory with 2 gas going. I guess that's why Soup doesn't really seem like he has many SCVs, because they're both on gas. So Soup does have both gases going, and you can see that in the resource tab. He has almost 400 by, not 400, 200 by now. So we could see some early tech play. We could see Banshees. We could see early mech aggression with tanks and Thors. Okay, Soup will scan Cooper's base, sees that he doesn't really have many units to attack with, and he will see pretty much everything he's doing except for the expansion. And Cooper waited for the scan to go away to drop his Baneling nest, so Soup will not know that that's coming, and it looks like Soup is going for another Gosu wall. Huh. Let me think about this for a second. If units come along the road and they come up and try to attack this, he's throwing down a tech lab here, an add-on there. So if they come up the ramp and attack the supply depot that is closest to the mineral patches, then he's gonna have to go through the supply depot and the tech lab in order to get there. That's a pretty thick wall there. So Soup could be able to hide behind that wall and get some free shots, outranging any of the Zerg units, which that's a pretty good idea. And he's making this wall pretty thick, so if they do go for the side that is closest to the mineral line, then he has to go through this thick layer of supply depots and add-ons. But if he goes for the other one, he has to walk all the way around these buildings. So Soup doing some pretty ingenious base layout here, and we'll see if that comes to help him out. Cooper's taking these lings and taking a look around, scouting out what he has. Getting stopped by the wall. He can't see at all what Soup is up to. He might be able to see some of those tech buildings since they're so close to the ramp. Let's see. Okay, all he sees is a tech lab. So all he sees is 2 barracks and a tech lab somewhere. So Cooper's still pretty much in the dark as far as scouting goes. Okay, so Cooper is getting some banelings, possibly going for a baneling bust, which, as we said before, won't work very well just because of the wall positioning. But Soup has his guys on. I would have the guys on the other side, just because he would be behind the wall. Soup will scan the main again. We'll see the baneling nest. We'll see how he reacts to that. Cooper's stockpiling larva a lot, and we see that in the resource tab. He's stockpiling larva, which means he's stockpiling resources at the same time. So Soup, if Soup takes advantage of this, Cooper could be behind just because he's not macroing as much as he could be. So it looks like these banelings are just chilling out, waiting for this natural expansion to go down. See, what Cooper can do is that he can wait for this natural to go down, take these banelings that he's hidden, and run into the mineral line and pop all of his SCVs, which will do a huge deal of economic damage. I'm not sure how common that is in TVZ, but I could see that being a very, very useful harassment. Soup throwing down a bunker at the wall, choosing to sort of, in a way, thicken the wall a little bit more that he has. Soup is electing to go for the Banshee harass. Oops. And with 2 Banshees out, does he have Cloak? He does have Cloak, so he could take these Banshees out any time. Okay, so there he goes. And Cooper does not really have much AA to speak of. He has this Queen and a second Queen here, but it looks like he will be spotted by the Zelnaka Tower. So Cooper will probably be able to react in some way to deal with this harassment. So will Soup see that third going down? Yes, he will see this third going down. And does he choose to go for it? Nope. Looks like he's going for either the natural or the main. And Cooper is already getting a overseer. So even when Soup does decide to cloak, this overseer pops just in time so that these queens are able to take up these banshees. What the? Cooper deciding to take out his own extractor. He hates getting gas, right? Fuck you, extractor. I'm gonna poke your eyes. Soup deciding to go for this third base. Maybe he realizes that queens off creep are super duper slow and he won't have any way to reinforce this expansion. So Cooper's going to be forced to cancel it, which is a pretty big economic blow to any player, because you never want to cancel a Nexus command center or hatchery, just because, especially when it's almost done, because that's a huge Okay, Cooper throwing down a transfuse on one of the queens, keeping it alive, just barely holding on to 32 HP. The Banshee running back into the main, trying to snipe, get some kills on these drones, but these queens are going to catch up to him. And will the Banshee get away? Barely gets away with 5 life. And nice transfuses. Soup is so polite, he's the man. Alright, so it looks like that harass is over, and neither player is looking to push out for a while, so I'm going to speed this up for a little bit, just so we can cut some time here, because this is a long game. Soup throwing down a command center at his natural. Of all the places to expand, he had to go for his natural. I'm just joking around. Cooper finally tries to take this third, and man, Cooper's in the money. I mean, it's kind of contradictory in StarCraft. You don't want to be rich. Basically, in any other part of your life, you want to be rich, but in StarCraft, you want to be dirt poor. You want to have as few resources as possible, but the highest income as possible. Okay, so it looks like Soup is going to try to pressure with this little force of Marines and Marauders, but it looks like these Banelings are going to pop in with the support of these Hydras. I don't think Soup is going to be able to do a whole lot of damage here. Soup does have 2 medevacs and a bunch of tanks. He's choosing to leave his tanks and other stuff behind, even though he's 10 supply ahead. If he brought those with him, he could do a lot of damage to Cooper, but he's choosing to leave them back for defense. And Soup is playing very, very defensively, and in a way, he's kind of reacting to the outcome of the last game, because Cooper did take the last game in this series, which means that Soup has to win this, or else he's out of the tournament. So, which means that he might be thinking that he has to play pretty defensively in order to stay in this. So these Marines and Marauders are going to push forward, and these Banelings, which do have speed, are going to catch up to him. Soup then try to run away, loads them up into the medevacs to try to escape all the Banelings, but will the Hydras get them? No, these medevacs are going to get away, and Cooper ends up being on top after that. Cooper is 91, Soup is at 78 as far as supply goes. And it looks like Cooper is going to do a little bit of a push after that, possibly thinking that's all Soup has, but that is not the case, since we have a lot of Marines and Riders on the high ground. We have 3 siege tanks, one of which is not in siege mode, but there it goes. So these siege tanks are going to get 3 hits on all Cooper's stuff. Cooper's going to run around with those lings, but I think that Cooper lost a lot more stuff than he wanted to. Running around free from any siege tanks or anything, so he could take those links into this mineral line, except there's not a whole lot there. And it looks like he's going to be turning them into Banelings instead, so possibly doing that harass we were talking about earlier, in which you just send all the Banelings into the mineral line, which still could happen. I mean, Soup has not quite transferred a lot of SCVs to the other patch, but still, there's still a lot there. Okay, so possibly, yep, there he goes. He's going to send all these Banelings in, realizes there's nothing there, and it looks like those Banelings are just being used on nothing. Tries to go into that Marine Marauder ball, but not getting as much as he wanted to, and it looks like Soup is going to be ahead again after that pretty failed attack, because Cooper did have a supply advantage, and Soup was behind, but now it's pretty even. So it looks like Soup is going to push back. So this has been the 3rd push in this game. First Soup with that little MM ball, and then Cooper with the lings and stuff. And now Soup is going to take all the stuff he has this time, not leaving anything back except for the guys that he's just built, and going to run them in here, but it looks like Cooper's going to have enough stuff to get a surround on Soup. Soup is going to try to siege the tank. I don't think that any avail, because this has already been closed, and a lot of the siege tanks are just killing his own guys. And even though siege tanks do pretty well against Hydralisks, it's not going to be quite enough. So it looks like Soup is going to be back in the disadvantage here, as this game has been very, very back and forth, and yeah, one disadvantage of the Gosu wall is that this stuff kind of happens. You get units trapped in this line of supply depots. Looks like some Vikings are going to go out to do some scouting. He's going to see this attack force trying to push back for the 4th push in this game. And will Soup be able to pull this off? I'm not so sure. We'll see about this. Cooper's decided to take the gold base. And a lot of Soup's stuff is trapped. So if Cooper were to attack right now,